And if you don't have fun, I hope you at least learn something. And if you don't do that, then go fuck yourself. Hello, everybody. It's your boy, James. And, oh boy. Oh my God, crazy energetic introduction. Fake explosions everywhere. Whoa. It's your boy. He's here to make videos and he's here to talk. I guess this will be the channel trailer for 2026 or whatever, just because there's it's been a long time since we've sat down, and obviously plans changed when you have big gaps like that. And so we're back for round 2, round 3, round 5, round 17, depends on how you count. But we're going to talk about, I want to talk about the goals of what we're going to be doing in the next few weeks, new schedule for videos, new themings, all those kind of things, so that way everyone just kind of knows what to look for in the next few weeks and also understands and can bear with me while I get some art pieces in place and while we stumble around blindly and try to figure out what the hell we're doing over here, which is the motto since day one of me uploading things. I was so ready for this video that you can't see that because that's overexposed to shit and back, but I have notes. So I guess the big takeaway is that we can start with is I'm back. Daddy's back. What does that mean? What are we doing here? So obviously I've been doing YouTube for a very long time. My first YouTube video was uploaded in 2006. Not to this channel. I've had probably 5 or 6, I guess depending on how you count, maybe 10 channels that have been trying to make work over the years. For various reasons or another. But this one is the one that's like gotten the most real traction. Not the most views, but the most real traction. So that's why it's the one that's survived and why it's the one that's currently running my shows and everything. Speaking of shows, let's talk about the shows. So there was a name change. Obviously, the channel is now James Does Tech. I think long term we might pick a different name for reasons that we'll get into, but for now it's going to stay James Does Tech just because that's the recognizable branding that I have with the Steam Machine videos and everything going on. So I want to try to keep that for at least a little bit until I see how this experiment plans out. So the general idea is previously I had Design Docs, which was a pilot that I had done in 2020 for what was going to eventually become my once a monthly, like the big project video. The idea being is that it's extremely heavily edited, it's got sweeping graphics, it's got bespoke music, and it just deep dives onto specific topics in video games that I like. Like maybe there's a particular game that handles its soundtrack very well, or if there's level design that I want to talk about, like how in Metroid Prime 2, whenever you get to Tor's Bog for the first time, how that intro level, how it all loops back in on itself. So God, I can make an entire hour-long video on just that. Things like that. Very deep, detailed dives that laser focus on one thing. And they're typically a little bit slower. The graphics they're on a specific set. That's actually what I use as the background for a lot of my stuff now. Like I have a transition that you'll notice whenever it does like the white bar that sweeps over and then it masks things off. That's all art that's specific for that show. And then a little bit after that, I wanted to bring back James at Games, which was my more edited, more comedy discussion piece vehicle about shows or about games. That one's kind of like in a weird state with its identity because the way that show is made, I couldn't go into as detail with some things that I did, so a lot of it was surface level. So you can kind of see it with season 4, near the end of it, I kind of started to pivot towards like a different way of just talking about the videos, about the games, which I think does work better, and it does like focusing less on the technical side of things that I do want to talk about, like less on the engine and more for the actual game, and the gameplay served those videos well. But again, it wasn't really what I wanted to do with the videos, so it created some conflict there too. That led to the Linux videos that I was doing for a while there, and that was going to be my weekly content, do one video a week on Linux stuff because it's easy, sit down and record for an hour. You don't have to do a whole lot of editing. You can kind of simplify things, whatever. Very quickly ran out of material with that, and on top of that, me not being a piece of authority on those videos, I think actually did me more harm than good. Going into it blind, while cool from like a skills standpoint and learning things, there wasn't really a hook for the audience. It was kind of just like, watch this idiot get drunk and blindly stumble through Linux for an hour, which works for some things and worked in some videos, but as a general like concept, as a general execution for a show, it doesn't really land. So it kind of petered out after a while. So, been doing a lot of thinking, and I think I now actually have the branding and the show, the everything that I want for the YouTube channel going forward. It's only taken me 20 years to fucking land on it, but I think I'm finally here. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to swap everything over to, we're going to swap everything is going to be James Does as the branding. James Does blank. James Does ... James Does Tech, obviously. James Does Games. I get to keep the James at Games branding, which I do really enjoy, but James Does Games just sounds better. It flows way better off the tongue. It's also a little bit more searchable. Then there's James Does Design, which obviously is going to be the evolution of whenever I do video essays on specific things or specific design elements. It's the same show, it's just slightly different branding. And then this also allows me to extend this format indefinitely, really. I have some other things that some other show ideas that I'm kicking around. I have one video for James Does Music, which I'm currently recording, which is about the perception of relative pitch versus perfect pitch and why perfect pitch kind of sucks and it's a curse and you really want relative pitch. So just something new that I haven't really done before on the channel, and doing this format lets me be creative like that and it lets me explore. In the future, I could do James Does Food, and I could do like a food channel where I cook and like whatever, or James Does Culture, and it's like that's where I travel and I do vlogs. Like the format just naturally lets me make more things with it, and that's what I like. Is I like the ability to remove restrictions and still let me do things. Now, this does add a little bit of issues because James Does Games and James Does Design, the prototype versions of them, do have their own specific bespoke art styles. They're all kind of shared language, like the mosaics in the background, all the games and everything, they're all there still. But this means that I now have to create unique motion graphics for the tech and unique backgrounds for the tech. That color is going to be yellow. That one already exists. I've already picked that one out. I already like that. I just need to finish, and I need to figure out what how the transitions are going to work on that one. And then I also need to figure out all of the stuff for James Does Music, which will likely be red themed or pink themed. I haven't quite decided yet. I'd also like to do maybe a purple color, but yeah. These are all things that don't really matter for the execution of the show. More so just that there is an overarching design philosophy with the shows. I like them all to fit together, and I like them all to reference one another, but I also want to make it easier on you guys. So the idea is whenever I put out a James Does Games video, the thumbnail, the text on it, instead of being my typical green, will now be yellow because it's a tech video or whatever. It'll be blue because it's a design video, or red because... and there be overarching design language that people are able to look at each of these shows and figure out if it's a show that they actually want to watch, because like they watch me for my gaming stuff, but they're not interested in the music stuff. This thumbnail's red, so I know not to click on it. Perfectly fine. But for people who don't even see those colors, they just see me and my stylings, it's all kind of just one overarching thing. So I think it will still work out. That's all an experiment, but we'll see where that turns out. I do feel very strongly about branding the different shows with the different colors and the different styles, but still keeping everything unique, or not unique, but keeping everything related to my existing stuff and unique to me. Talk about all that, actually, that's a good segue into the upload schedule. So I'm going to try to do 52 videos. I want to do a year of YouTube, a video a week. I don't know how that's going to pan out. I've already got like 4 right now that I'm like in the middle of producing, but they're more so like for James Does Tech, that's going to, god damn, that's going to take some getting used to. So like I have a James Does Tech video where I built a replacement router, and that's pretty cool, right? Like that's a fun video, is building a router. So that's going to be one of the videos, but obviously I can break that up into chunks, but like the way that things are going, that's something that I probably could do in just a weekend if it's like, hey, I installed the software, hit the go button, right? But of course, you guys know me, and that's not how it worked out. And I built it using a laptop, and things are going horrifically wrong, as you expect. So, you know, need a little bit more time on that one. Or maybe it's something where I start to work on a project and I realize that, I can break this up into 2 or 3 videos and then be entirely separate things. So like for the router one, to use that as an example again, phase 1 could be, let's install this off-the-shelf operating system on this thing. Let's at least get it working and show you what it's like to configure like a real router operating system. And then phase 2 might be like, hey, what if we did all of this, but we just did it on Linux, like just native raw ass Linux, and just built our own distro just for, obviously as a toy. Like we're not going to put this into production. But yeah, like that could be an entirely different part 2 of the arc. And like there's just so many fun ideas like that. My creativity is back again, and it's been a lot of fun being able to just like come up with weird fucking ideas. I have my new camera set up that I'm recording this on. Obviously, it's been different, and this is the best it's ever looked. And on top of that, I have minimizing everything on my desktop just so I can make sure that I'm not accidentally leaking anything. Okay. That's the wrong one. Sweet. There we go. Okay, as you can see, I've reinvented in-camera editing so I can like be me and just move me around in the different corners and like, oh, now I'm down here. Oh, now we're full screen again. Yeah. Oh. That's a video in and of itself, because I know a lot of people, I use this camera at work. Like my audio setup, this is the exact same camera I use for YouTube videos and for work video calls. And boy, howdy, let me tell you, is it a crowd pleaser whenever you do things like that? Sorry, apparently I'm allergic to my own bullshit. If I want to be able to work on those kind of videos where there's a lot of involved things and things that I need to go back and forth on, sometimes they just take more time, right? Like you just need, like if something takes 20 hours for you to research, that's just the research phrase. That video is going to take longer than a week to make because I work full time. I want to figure out a weekly show, and to that I have an idea, and it actually has already almost been taken away from me. I say that because I pitched this idea as a weekly show to one of my friends a while ago, and he was like, yeah, dude, this is actually really good. I want to see this. And it's about a topic that he and I have been both talking about for a long time. And after a while, I was talking with him one night. We were just in a Discord call together, and we were both doing the thing, just separately, but we were both together talking about it and doing our thing and talking about our experiences and whatever. I'm deliberately keeping this vague. I'm sorry. And we were talking about it, and I was like, no, Jesse, like, we gotta, this is the show. Like, this is the show that I want to make, but, like, we need to make this a podcast or like a show on YouTube or whatever. I don't know if it's really going to be a podcast, but, like, we should make a podcast out of this. And he was like, yeah, time scale, blah, blah, blah. That makes it hard. But then we were talking about it more, and it's like, well, if we can record, 2 or 3 episodes of it at a time, the way that the content is structured is that we can have evergreen episodes that are just like, hey, here's XYZ thing that we're going to talk about, and we're going to deep dive on it. Here's general news about the topic. There's ways that we can make the show work. So what we're going to do is we're going to produce a pilot on this. I don't know if the pilot will be at any quality for us to upload it or whatever. We might take that concept and re-record it once we actually have everything finished. We might do the pilot and go, this is the best thing ever, and immediately upload it. We might do the pilot and go, this is the worst thing ever. I hate you, and I never want to talk to you ever again. And then I lose one of my best friends in the process. Who knows how this works? But the good news is that if that pilot does fall through, then I still have my weekly show idea. The only thing that's really going to fall through on the show is just availability and time and scheduling and all of that, we think. Because we both really enjoy the idea, and it's something that we are already doing casually anyway, so it's why not turn on the camera while we're doing it kind of thing. So obviously, while I am going through and producing those things, that will give a little bit more time for the other stuff and buffers. So I think the way that I'm looking at doing YouTube videos now is I'm wanting to do either a video on Monday or a video on Friday as like the weekly cadence, and then I think the other videos are when it's done, it just comes out kind of thing. But I don't know if I'm replacing that weekly upload that week or if I do 2 uploads that week. I think it just kind of depends, to be honest with you. There's going to be some experimentation. There's going to be experimentation around a lot of this. So there's going to be a lot of things here and there that you might see that are very out of character for me, or just some things that I haven't done before. Like, for example, on this video, I'm doing the description time code comment timeline thing so people can skip around in the video. I'm going to see if this actually improves retention. I'm really curious if it does or not. Everybody tells me that it does, but I have a feeling most people are looking at spikes in the graph and don't actually know how to read the retention graph directly, but that's fine. I won't know either until I actually see it, because my head model could be entirely wrong for how all this actually works, and so I might do it and be like, oh god, I've just been stupid this whole time. You'll also notice that on this video I did the intro hook thing. We'll see if it works. I hate them, but unfortunately the data does show that it does work, so we're gonna try it a few times, and we're gonna see where it goes. So I think that's all of the meta YouTube stuff that I wanted to talk about. Just TLDR. New art's coming, new shows are coming, new styles are coming, new videos are coming, but it's the same James. It's just James has mental headspace to work on these things, and his creativity is back, and a bunch of other things. Why is that, though? What happened with James where creativity got shot for a while there? Well, this is going to start shifting away from the YouTube stuff into personal stuff, so if you don't care about that kind of thing, thank you for watching as far as you did. I'm also not going to be going super into a lot of detail here, just kind of high-level summaries on a lot of things. The big problem that I had with a lot of these things was my alcohol consumption. And I am now, I believe, let's see, hang on, I'm fact-checking myself before I'd say something really stupid. It was 5'9". I was going to say 5'9", and I was like, that's not right. But it was 5'9". 5'9", 26. I had a very close friend of mine go into a seizure because she had started drinking again when we didn't really know that she was drinking. And then on top of that, also decided to go cold turkey one night. So that was not fun. And it was the second time that's happened. So that was a little bit of a wake-up call. And I decided that I was going to join her in this sobriety journey. And boy howdy, this was one of the best decisions and also one of the hardest decisions I've ever made in my life. You cannot believe how much being an alcoholic really and truly ruins your life. It's incredible. I just never even really realized we're going on. I'm waking up out of all of this and it's like, oh fuck, this is what I've done. I've ruined friendships. I've ruined a lot of relationships. I've not been a great person. I also do feel the need to say, Kelsey, I owe you an apology. I have not been entirely upfront with you about this whole thing. I have drank twice since May 9th. I've already forgot it again. And to that, I owe you a severe apology. I don't want to do it anymore because it straight up is poison. It's one of those things where I've been so detoxed from it that now whenever I do actually drink and I actually have a hangover the next day because of how much I drank, because I'm still a fucking alcoholic, I'm just fucking miserable. It's you are sick as a dog. I literally spent the entire day in bed yesterday from it. Could I have gotten up and done things? Yeah, but I didn't want to. I was having a good old pity party for myself. So don't drink, kids. I've replaced it with, I say replaced. So the state of Florida, you can just go to Total Wine and buy THC drinks because there's something about the overall percentage content of THC in, it has to be a certain percentage under the total composition of the good that you're making, and under that agriculture, it's the agricultural, there's an actual act for it that I'm forgetting the name of, unfortunately, but that act is if something has certain percentage of the overall mass, then you can sell it legally. So Florida, you go to Total Wine, you can just get THC drinks. So actually, in fact, one sec, there's been a few different brands that I've been trying, but these are the ones I'm kind of settling on, just because they're the easiest, and also they're cheap. So it's $32 per bottle, $33 per bottle. And there's you do a shot basically, and it's got 10 milligrams in it. And then these little individual, these have got 10 of THC and 2 CBD. They're like a raspberry seltzer. They're very nice. This is the closest to drinking a beer that I've come across, and in fact, I think they're actually significantly better because I have one, and it's oh, I feel good, and it's not you fucking lose your mind over it. It's it just kind of, it does what a beer's supposed to do. It takes the edge off things. I think it's the CBD in these that is doing that. Because it is different. I think there are also different strains. I'm new to weed. This is all new things I'm learning. So I think there's differences in strains between these two, because this one doesn't give me the munchies, which no, neither of these give me the munchies. The other one gives me the munchies. So I believe the term is Cali sober. I don't smoke. I don't do edibles. This is just all I do. And I've already encountered problems with these. It's super easy to build a tolerance with THC when you're consuming it, apparently. So you have to be very careful with it. Go slow your roll. If you try to treat it exactly like alcohol, it will backfire on you pretty bad. But as long as you're conscious with things, it truly does help, and it helps me sleep. I wake up in the morning and I actually feel fucking fantastic. I feel like $1 million. It's actually incredible. But actually, I could probably talk about that, just waking up without hangovers. Man, it's alcoholism sucks. It fucking ruins your life. So if anyone out there is suffering from it, just know that I'm going through it right there with you. And I'll tell you 100% to your fact, I'm going to drink again because I am an addict and I have issues with self-control. You can see my weight. You can see everything and put that together. That's also another good segue. Weight loss. I've been losing weight. I know I still look like a fat fuck, and it's because I am, but I'm lesser of a fat fuck. I believe at my heaviest I was around 315. And when I weighed yesterday morning, I was down to 272. So it's fluctuating a lot right now, just because I've hit a really bad rough patch. And this week I started back up again. This past week I started back up again and got it back under control again. Trying to go down. My goal is to hit 260 because I have a wedding that I'm going to in September, and I want to look hot and sexy and rich at the wedding, which is not going to happen, which is why my goal is 260, is to force myself into getting there. Most of it's going to come down to diet change, but I do actually have a content piece that I'm making on this where I have a under the desk treadmill, and I actually play games while walking on my treadmill whenever I'm getting my cardio in, and just kind of seeing how that has helped. It is incredible how nice it is to sweat while playing video games, because I like building up sweat anyway. I know I don't look like it, but I am an athletic person. I do enjoy being athletic, put it to you that way. Being able to do that while also like I think in the clips that I've recorded so far, there was a little bit of Call of Duty I was playing, and there was a little bit of I think I did like a WoW dungeon while I'm just like walking on my treadmill, working out, cutting back on alcohol, going sober. All of it does wonders for your brain. And it's kind of incredible how present I am in my life now, where I wasn't before. Before I was kind of just going right to left through my life. But now it's like I'm actually aware and I'm processing what's going on around me, and I'm more in touch, I guess. It sucks. A lot of it sucks because I have essentially wasted the last 5 years of my life with letting my alcoholism get to where it did. It's important to also talk about the whys, because nobody just picks up a substance and immediately like goes off the deep end on it without there being severe problems, right? Like no healthy human does that. People who are in pain, people who are looking to escape do that. And there's a lot going on in my life that has contributed to that, both from my childhood as well as my adult life, that I don't really want to get into right now. But just know that environmental factors are absolutely a thing. Stress is absolutely a thing. Your upbringing is definitely a thing, because if you see your parents doing it a whole lot when you're growing up, then you're going to want to do it too, right? It kind of sucks. It kind of sucks admitting that you're a failure. It kind of sucks admitting how much you are bad at everything that you do. But it is one of the best things that I've done, is cutting out the alcohol. And now I'm getting to a point where before I was so embarrassed to talk about it because of how much I had let myself get to. And now I'm getting to a point where I actually can talk about things, and I can put specific numbers on the topic. And every single time I do that, I want to vomit from how disgusting those numbers are. It's not fun. It's not pretty. It's not great. But we will get through it on the other end, right? I'm going to have this problem until the day I die. I will forever and always be an alcoholic. It's just, how do I deal with it is the problem, or is the question, right? All right, now that I've ruined the mood for the rest of this video, I think that segues perfectly into why am I back on YouTube now and what are my goals, and then I think we can end this. The big thing that I want to mention as my goals is I want to go full-time on YouTube. Like, that's my goal. It's for selfish reasons. My job is is not fun right now. There's a lot of just stress going on right now, and just thinking about all of the time that I'm putting into that, when I could be putting in all of the time and making YouTube videos and making my own business and making everything grow there. Like I'm hitting the point in my adult life where I want to start thinking about those longer term things and putting down roots. And like, I'm not in my 20s anymore. I'm not a kid anymore. I have to, you got to think about these things, right? And while I do enjoy my job, don't get me wrong, but it's, it is a job at the end of the day. And being able to do things for myself long term would be great. Like, I get to own my own work at that point, and that's, in my opinion, that's one of the great goals of anybody, really, is just to be able to make a thing, and then like it be your thing, and then your thing be what gets you through life. I like, you guys know how handy I am, but it's like that handiness doesn't just come from like I like to make things or whatever. It's an all-encompassing mindset. I think it's fair to say that the way the channel is going, with the subscriber growth that we've been seeing the last ever since I came back recently. In fact, I can get you specific numbers. Yeah, YouTube is being weird with these analytics. I was gonna try to see if I could show you, but I'm at 2,610 subs, so I've gotten over 1,000 subs in the last little bit here, which is awesome. Thank you. I appreciate all of you for sitting down and watching my content. But that does mean that, okay, YouTube has even with my yearly pause, YouTube still recognizes my channel, and it knows my channel, and it knows when to push me whenever I have the right topic. So I clearly have my point in the algorithm now, and at this point, it's just a matter of executing until I can get there. Now, what does that mean? That means I could be making YouTube videos for the next 15 years before I finally get there, or I could put out a video tomorrow and I get 4 billion views and I surpass PewDiePie in subs. YouTube's a weird game like that, right? I think long term, if we're going to reach being realistic with my channel and the way things have gone, I'm not a big viral hit. I'm not a big exploder. It's going to be very slow, long, steady growth. So I think in order to accommodate for that, we need to have the conversation about monetization on the channel. Historically speaking, I don't monetize my videos. I don't do monetization things. The only thing that I've really done is I had affiliate with Twitch, so people could sub on Twitch, and that was fine for a while, but I also don't stream all that much. I don't go on Twitch anymore at all. YouTube has that mechanism now, so memberships, is that something that if I turned that on, would that offend you guys? Like, is it a problem if I turn that on? Do you guys want to encourage me to turn that on? Is that something that you're asking for so you can support me and make sure this happens? Should I be looking at Patreon? Or whenever I become eligible for running page ads, should I do that? Should I wait until I'm bigger? Should I don't know. These are all questions that the main reason why I don't turn on monetization, or I didn't turn on monetization in the past, is because I thought it was obnoxious for a channel that was my size, 1,000 subs or less, to be running ads, because like I'm going to get 4 cents off that video. All it does is it just makes the viewer experience bad. But that also means that if I'm not running ads on what I do, then I don't make money. So there comes a certain point where you have to kind of make that decision of, okay, am I finally at a point where I can flip the switch and it not ruin the user experience? Or am I waiting too late, and am I screwing myself out of money when I could have done this? I could have started going solo sooner and gotten to that point faster. You know what I mean? Like I'm constantly it's a constant game in my head, and I don't want to be that guy who's like, hey, I've got 20 videos on my channel with 800 subs, and here's all my merch, and here's all, like, it's just obnoxious. It's like I'm here to make the content, right? And the thing that makes me able to make the content is the money that the content brings me. But I'm not making the content for the money. I'm making the content for the content. The money is just the fuel unit that gets me to making the content. And if you're doing that, where your channel is like you're so small like that like it's obvious that the content is the way to get to the money. And if that's how you want to do things, that's fine. That's how most businesses are. I get it. But to me, this is not something I'm doing as a money printer. This is not my I mean, I guess that would technically be my retirement, but you know what I mean? Like, I'm not expecting to be a billionaire off this. I'm not trying to be Warren Buffett. I am just a dude making art. And if my art happens to fund my lifestyle to let me make more art, then it's a perfect symbiotic circular relationship. It makes you guys happy because you guys get more content. I'm not being an obnoxious dickhead trying to get you to buy my song on iTunes or whatever. And you know, it's all just symbiotic and copacetic. That does raise some questions, though. If I do get to the point where I do a Patreon or anything like that, the money that comes in on that will 100% be public. Just so that way I want people to know what they're getting into, because I don't want people who are not able or are not in a good financial position to be the ones. I want people who can afford it to be the patrons, right? That's the original point behind being a patron of an art, right? Is if you're wealthy enough to subsidize people and let them do their art because you like their art that much, then you can kind of make that happen. I don't want people who are struggling with getting their rent paid and power paid and food on the table to feel obligated to keep me alive, because that's like I'm doing this for fun. So there's lots of conversations that need to happen around that. I don't even know like what I'll offer. Like I might not do merch. I might do merch. Merch is fun because like with all the crazy batshit things I say, like I can come up with some banger t-shirt ideas. You have no goddamn idea. Like, do I even want to bother with that? Like, is selling t-shirts something that even interests me? Currently, no. But I mean, for all I know, I might have this crazy idea in a year, and then all of a sudden it becomes, you know, like a fourth of the business. Like, who knows, right? I don't know. I'm at a very interesting crossroads here, and I think this is the most comfortable I've ever been with YouTube. This is the most like, okay, this is the most clear, the most focused, the most I am ready to execute that I've ever been in my life on my YouTube channel. And it's also the scariest because for once I actually feel like I know what I'm doing, and now that I know what I'm doing, it's like, oh fuck, now I actually have to go and do it. So it's like, all right, let's take the last 20 years of my life and it's time to nut up. Like, can I do this? And I guess we're going to find out. We're going to do a year of James Does, and we're going to see how the channel grows and how it changes. We're going to see if my experiments are successful. We're going to see which ones live and die. We're going to see what new ideas I have in a year. And I'm so excited to go on this journey with you guys, and I hope you're excited to come with me. And I hope I don't disappoint you. I hope I just give you good, fun, fucking things to watch, because that's all I want to do. And if you don't have fun, I hope you at least learn something. And if you don't do that, then go fuck yourself. I'm sorry, that was mean. I shouldn't. Nah, we all have fun here, right? I'm going to end it now because I think I'm starting to ramble. But no, I think for Channel Trailer 2026, I think the title here is Hope. Channel Trailer 2026, Hope. Let's see where it goes. Let's see where hope gets us. Does it actually help? Or am I going to destroy my life and end up in a ditch somewhere? Who knows? I can't find my mouse.